Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to show you how to add a GDPR privacy policy pop-up to your site. Now, as of January 2024, you're going to be required to do this if your site's being visited in EU or Britain. If you've got an English speaking site, I'm sure that it is. You can actually create your GDPR policy statement in your AdSense account if you had one. For mine today, I went over to ChatGPT and I said write a GDPR policy for a website called Web Design and Tech Tips. And it came up with this, and it's pretty good. It's not bad. Obviously, if you do one for yours, read through it, make sure it's going to be up to Google standards there. This is pretty good. That's what I'm going to use for mine today. Okay, as you can see, this pop-up is going to pop up when the site loads. Also, doesn't matter which page they go to, I've put it on every page, so it'll pop up on each page. And down the bottom of my site, in the footer, I've actually got a little button that'll pop it up also. So let's get started. I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to go down to New and Page. We're going to be using the premium plugin Divi Supreme modules to pop this up today, if you want to have a pop-up version of it. And you can find the URL down below this video. Let's give it a name and use the Divi builder, obviously. I'm going to build mine from scratch. I'm going to use a single column, single row. And for this today, I'm going to use a little blur module so we can put a little icon on the top. Put in what you want to say. And down below, I'm going to copy what ChatGPT has given me. I don't need that last bit actually. It's actually telling you at the bottom, consult your legal people or Google. Make sure this is up to standard. So let's go back to the page. Now I've got that. I'm simply going to paste it in there. I'm going to roll on down. I'm going to use an icon instead of an image. And let's use an exclamation mark. It'll work perfectly for me. If I move this out of the way, you can see what's going on there. I'm going to leave mine just like that. I think I'll give it a bit of a background so it stands out. Let's give it a nice light grey or something like that. That'll work. And a bit of padding all round. So I'm going to go to design and spacing. Let's give it 30 pixels all round. Just put in the 30, it'll put in the pics. Hit the chain, it'll do the opposite side. We'll do the same for left and right. Won't make much difference to our blur module, as it's only taking up a fixed width there. Great, and let's just put a background color in our section to offset this. And I'm going to go down background. Let's use a dark, not quite black. That'll work fine. So we've now actually got a page. Let's publish this page and exit the visual builder. That's my original one there. Let's get rid of that. So we've got our actual page now, which is great. And that's actually all you need to do. You can use this URL and publish it in your Google AdSense, tell it where your GDPR privacy policy is if you don't want to have a pop-up. But we're going to add the pop-up today. Now, like I said earlier, to make the pop-up, we're going to use Divi Supreme modules. Find the link down below. Once you've got it installed and activated, you'll see it in your menu just down here. If you click on it, it'll take you to this page. Under the general settings, you want to make sure that you've got Enable Divi Pop-up switch to on, so it's purple like that on the right hand side, and save your changes. If you don't do this, this will not work today, so make sure you do this. Okay, well I want this to pop up on every single page, so I'm going to actually build it into a custom footer. To do that, let's go down to Divi, to the theme builder. I've got a global footer there. If you've got one, great, you can just add a button to it or whatever you want to do. Let's trash these and we'll start from scratch. I'm going to hit the add global footer. I'm going to say build global footer. And I'm going to keep this extremely simple today. I'm going to add a row. I'm going to use something perhaps like this that's got a large section on the left and a smaller section on the right. In the larger section, I'm going to use a Divi menu module. And you can put in there what menu you want to put up there from your menus that you've got published. We'll add a logo. Let's add my little logo image. Choose that white one right there and we'll give it a dark background. Great. Save that. I'm going to go up into my section here and give it a dark background so you can see what's going on. Blue tab for a section. Under the content, background. Let's use that dark 2424 again. And you can see what's going on. Great. While I'm in the section, I'm going to take away any padding top and bottom because I don't want it to be too large. So over to design, I'm going to go to spacing, padding top and bottom, just going to put a 0 in there and hit the chain. Great. Okay, well let's go back into this menu and make it a little bit more like we want it. I'm also going to make this row full width, so let's do that first. I'm going to click on the green section here, the green tab for the row. To make it full width, we can go into design, sizing, just drag the width up to 100%, copy that, Control C, paste it in the max width down below, or you can type it in if you prefer. We've now got a full width row, and that logo, as you can see, is way too big, but that's fine. And while we're still in this row, I'm going to add a little bit of padding either side so it's not touching the sides there. So still in design, let's close up sizing, go to spacing down below, and left and right, I'm just going to give it say 5%, 5 and the percent sign, and the same for the other side. Fantastic. May as well take any padding away from this row also. So I'm going to do the same as I did with the section, put a 0 in there. Fantastic. Now if we go back into our menu module, we can organize it a bit more like we want it. I'm going to go in there. Down below we've got the elements. If you've got WooCommerce installed, you can show a shopping cart if you want to, or a search icon. I'm going to leave those both off. We've got that white background in there. I'm going to get rid of that. By default it puts a white background in there. Just go to background, color, little trash can there. You can get rid of it. That's better, the logo's standing out a little bit. Let's go over to our design now, and we'll make that logo the size we want it by going down to sizing. Once in sizing, you've got logo width here. Just roll that down so it's about the size that you want it. Something like that's going to work for me. Fantastic. And we've lost our menu items. They're actually there, but it's dark on dark. So if we go up, menu text, I'm going to make the active link white and also the main link white, and they've turned up there. Let's capitalize them for a bit of fun too. Well, that's great. Well, what we actually need to do now is create the pop-up that we want to use. And to do that today, well, we've already created this page here. If I enable the Visual Builder, I can go down and save this module that we created with our GDPR privacy policy in there to the library. A little round icon just to the left of the trash can there. We'll call it GDPR. And I'm going to save it to my library, hit the little blue button there. Fantastic. And we'll save and exit once more. We can go back to our theme builder now. We can add a new module. I'm going to put a little button here that'll take them to that page, but also will trigger a pop-up on any page they visit. So let's hit the button. I'm going to go over to design. I'm just going to turn that button to white. Go into the button, use custom styles for the button, button text color. I'm going to leave it just like that. Now in the text, put privacy policy or GDPR, whatever you want to have in yours, and we'll drop it down a little bit. So design, spacing. We've got to use margin for this. Padding will make the button taller or wider. So margin on the top, let's give it say 10 pixels. A little bit more, increment up and down with the little arrows till it's just right for you. I think that works okay. And alignment, I want it in the center of our little column there. That way, when it goes to mobile view, they'll stack nicely on top of each other. Okay. Now here's the important part. If we go over to advanced now, we can go down to visibility. If we roll down, you're going to see a little button that says use pop-up. If you don't see that there, you've probably forgotten to turn on that feature in the Divi Supreme modules. I'll just remind you. If we go back here, let's get rid of that, go to the dashboard, down to Divi Supreme Pro. Got to make sure you've got Divi Supreme Pro installed and activated, and enable Divi pop-up switch to on. So if you don't see that use pop-up, you've probably not got one of those things done. So I'm going to hit the yes. I want to pop out a layout type, but before we can get it to show up, because we just saved it to the library, I need to save this, save the page changes, and just refresh the page. And now we can go back into our button, back over to advanced and visibility. We've got our pop-up switch to yes. We want it to pop up the layout. Now we should see that GDPR in our library, and it'll be down the bottom. Last thing that you create is always down the bottom. There it is. Now what do we want it to trigger on? We want it to trigger when the page loads. So you can trigger it on module click, button click, image, hyperlink by ID, CSS class, page load is the one we want, or page scroll. And you can also do it on exit intent. That's when they put their mouse up to get out of the browser. It'll pop up then. I'm going to do it on page load. You can choose if you want to use it as a cookie consent form. I'm going to have a close pop-up trigger outside the pop-up. That's fine. Don't want to use auto close. You can put an amount of time and switch that on to yes, and it'll automatically close after that time. You want to give them enough time to read it, obviously. Now cookie expiry, I'm going to leave mine on 0. That means it's going to, every time they go to a page, it's going to pop up. Now you wouldn't do that in the real world. You want to put maybe 1 or 2 days in there. Just pop, that's the amount of days it's going to take before the cookies actually pop it up again. So you can choose how many days before the same visitor comes back and sees that message again. I'm going to leave it on 0 just for this demo today though. You've got entrance animations and exit animations. I want my pop-up to be in the center, right in the middle of the page. I want it to be absolute, so if they start scrolling down, the website stays where it is. I'm not going to use full width. I find that this pop-up max width of 680 works for me on all devices. If you want to put different widths in for different devices, hit the little icon there, and you can put different widths in for tablet and phone. I'm going to show an overlay so it darks out what's behind it a little bit. And I do want to show a close button so they can close it down. Great. Close button icon by default's an X. That works for me. That's pretty standard. You can choose a button background color and an icon color if you want to. I'm going to leave all of those on the standard, which is great. Now the only other thing I want to do to this today is add the actual link to the button that's going to take them to the new page that we created. So I go back to there and pages. There's our GDPR. If I right click on the view, I can copy the link address and we can put it in the button. Under content, here's where you'll find link. Just going to pop it in there. We want it in the same window as it's on our site. If you were linking off site, you'd want it open in a new window so your site stays open. And we should be good to go. Let's save our changes here. Save the changes down the bottom. We'll X out, make sure everything's changed, saved here. Now let's visit our site. And there it is. It pops up with our little policy. They can scroll down. And if we go to a different page, because I got that cookie set to 0, it's going to pop up every time. Like I say, you'd want to change that because this would get a little bit annoying for the same visitor to see it every page they went to. but as you can see, it's working perfectly. And if we roll down to our footer at the bottom here, if I actually click on the button, it takes us to our GDPR page here. And like I say, you want to change that cookie consent. You don't need that to pop up on this page. And they can read through it this way if they want to take another look at it. So there you go, guys. There's how to add a little GDPR policy to your site. Like I say, you can have it pop up like this, or you can put a link to it down below in your footer if you want it to appear on all pages. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you or make a little demo video. Once again, this has been Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.